going to meeting boots.
Fancy boy today. There we go. All right. Now I think you guys can hear me, right? Let me get a thumbs up or something. Perfect. Just make sure they can hear. It's different because I have different plugs at home. So I didn't recognize the mic. Perfect. All right. So, shifting this a little bit. Perfect. Welcome, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Musky Talk Tuesdays from Smokies. Smokies is closed right now, right? Until Saturday?
Until Saturday, Mistake on the Lake. We open at 9 till 4 through Thursday next week, and then regular hours on Friday through the rest of the season.
Perfect. So, right off the bat, openers in week and a half. Mistake on the Lake, what's that? I think I touched base on it last year, and we had some fun watching people mess up boat launches, so that was fun. So if you're not here to get like the 15% off, you can come have fun with people launch boats. But Joe, if you want to go into a little more detail.
Mistake on the Lake is basically kind of an opening party. Jimmy, you've been around longer than I have with doing this Mistake on the Lake. It's basically a big swap meet. It's always the week before opener, hence the name Mistake on the Lake. People bring a ton of lures to either trade or sell or whatever. We got food, beer, sodas available, and it's just kind of a getting together, all the fishermen, and coming out and kind of gearing up, getting ready for opening day.
You get a great opportunity to meet all the guides. Yep. That guide out of
a lot of lure
Smokies.
manufacturers.
Lure manufacturers are here,
just local
and just
people who are in the community. Musky's Inc.
Like
all
the
Veterans Camp, and the tournaments.
Yep. And it really is. It's a neat opportunity for everyone to socialize right before the season starts, and you can get some great deals here at the Musky shop.
15.
We got 15% off for everything that's in stock. That's rods and reels included.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's one-day sale for that, and like Jimmy was saying, I mean, it's a fun time. You get to see a lot of people you don't normally get to see, especially on this lake. In a sense of there's a lot of people that work. They don't see everybody fishing all the time together. No, so it's really gearing up and talking strategies and getting to rekindle some friendships and really start the year off right.
And talking about the previous season, I think I've learned so much over the years on that one weekend day. Just talking about what we learned from the year before.
Success stories and
horror stories both. Yep. It's true. It's true.
I heard a rumor how it got called Mistake on the Lake. I don't know if it's true, but there's this radio show that's on Saturdays.
Does it have to do with John? If the story's got John Lehman in it, it's probably true.
It's probably
true. They said they were going to open the weekend before, and the weather was good for shit, and barely anybody showed up, and I guess John looked and said, well, that was a big mistake.
It was, and that's exactly how it happened.
Mistake on the Lake happens now.
And Andy Rosenau, who's out with Captain Dave Olson, out catching big walleyes in the Bay of Green Bay, that was one of his brainchilds back in the day when he worked here, And the weather has always been awful. It's never been good.
It was horrible last year.
I don't know if the weather's ever
We're live,
been good.
so I'm going to say it just to keep with tradition. It's supposed to be 60 and sunny on Saturday.
Okay, well
just saying, man. Just saying.
So we know what's going to happen now.
Yeah, it's going to piss all day long.
Yeah. All right, this might be the first one.
I don't know. It's been crappy, but last year we came here, Mistake on the Lake, went out crappie fishing, caught my personal best crappie afterwards. So
that did happen. I remember you telling me about it.
I don't care. That's fine.
But
it wasn't sunny.
It wasn't 60 and sunny.
Not at all. So how long has that been going on?
Oh gosh,
longer. It's got to be 10, 12 years.
12.
Yeah.
It's over 10. I'm thinking it's over 10, and it's been kind of our pre-opener get-together.
And there's a lot of people that come from all over the place to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, especially you really think about it. Yeah, I'm gonna rip on Facebook.
All right.
Face fail.
Don't worry,
You
we're
got-
only on there.
You got, you got all these,
Using the platform.
you got all these flea markets and stuff where you go to sell stuff, and some of them you get trashed in. People talk crap, and it totally takes away from the hope that somebody could actually get rid of some of their old stuff or stuff they don't use.
Get a deal.
Yeah, and pay like next to nothing for stuff. I mean, me personally, I wish I didn't have to work on Mistake on the Lake days.
Same.
Because I can't get here in time. You were at my house today. You saw how many lures that were in my boat last year hanging.
You could sell some stuff here.
And I could probably, every year, I could probably bring 300 lures to this thing and sell them for $10 and get rid of most of the crap that I have. This is the perfect venue for something like that.
Perfect.
And a lot of it's not necessarily crap.
No, yeah,
I'm gonna-
It's stuff you're not using.
It's stuff that you're
It's-
not using, right?
I
So
mean, over the years, being
we-
a guy doing the shows, you collect a whole lot of stuff. People come out, hey,
Yep.
try this. What do you think about that? Or you did somebody a favor and they give you a couple really nice lures that are big name stuff. Well, you don't use the stuff. I mean, how many of the same lure can you have? I mean, unless you're talking Warlocks. I have probably 35 custom Warlocks.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I'm not getting rid of those.
No.
You know,
should talk about
but
that.
yeah, okay, it's a problem. I know. Doctors can't help.
But I think that's a really good topic because, I'm a big reef hog guy,
Yeah.
right? And you're a big warlock guy, right? And so we each have our own way of doing things. It doesn't mean a bait's bad or good.
No.
No.
It just means that that's what we know.
Confidence.
And that's what we were
confidence,
talking
yeah,
about
for
today
sure.
out on the lake, Colin, was you can take one lure and you can be as methodical with it as you possibly can. I use the terminology, the analogy of bowling. You can be perfect in pocket all the time, but you're still going to leave an 8, 9, or 10 pin periodically.
Right on.
You're not going to always be throwing 300 games.
No.
It's the same thing with lures. What you learn how to finesse the things and work it so that
Wait.
there's baits
I
out
think we
there.
got a customer coming. He wants to be on the show.
Customer.
Customer.
Do I need permission to show him?
I don't know.
No.
Who is it?
I don't know. He's got a minnow bucket. The crappies are biting. Crappies are
we're
going to go
close.
soon. Okay.
Rick probably stopped them. But you can take a Warlock, and I was explaining it to you today. You can take a Warlock, you can work it 4 different ways,
Yes.
and there's no right or wrong way of doing this stuff. And because we're both Polish, it's retrieve it like
Are
a
we all
crazy
Polish
Polak.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we do.
Be,
Oh,
be
boy,
stupid.
here we go.
Be
Right.
totally
Here's
different
all
with the
these
stuff,
Polacks.
and
Yeah.
you're gonna
Musky
catch
fishing,
and see
right.
a whole lot more fish than you are just jerking it along and bringing it in
Doing
straight
this or
like
doing
that.
that. There's a time and a place for everything.
Absolutely.
Every
You
bait
know,
has
we
their
talked
certain
about
little
that.
nuances to it. I mean, even like with a bucktail, if you bend it a little, you're going to get a little more tick out of it. You bend it more, it's going to run shallower. I mean, if
you bend it the other way, will it run deeper?
oh, absolutely, yeah, it just dives 4 feet down.
So
So
when
it's like a crankbait.
We got our first
Anyway, so
very important
there you go.
question
when
from,
you go to the
Sean
windblown shore,
From Sean Forney.
right here.
Off the topic of Polish, how Polish is Adam? I said very, but he'd like to hear your response.
The last 3 letters are ski, dude.
Okay.
I mean, you really don't need a map for that.
So very.
How Polish?
So throughout the show,
That's pretty
expect
Polish.
fish. You're going to get some knowledge. You're going to
All
get
right,
some
little
cool ideas.
buddy.
We're
I'll
just
be
gonna
fine,
have
man. Okay.
All right.
His grandmother makes the best sauerkraut you've ever had.
Oh yeah.
Well,
oh
no,
yeah. That's no joke.
we've been
That's no
smelling
joke.
it all night.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought that was German.
Well, it's just what side of the mountain
World
you're
War
on.
II, whatever. Okay. It happened. So,
America, 2-time champs.
but going back
All right.
to the swap meet at Mistake on the Lake, I know that I wish I would have done this, but it's a great opportunity to show off. Hey, if you're new into lure making, bring it out. Get people's opinions.
And that's a
Not
great point,
behind
man.
the screen, you can actually see like the look in their eyes of this is garbage, but you hear them say this is good, or you can get a lot more information off someone meeting them in person with, hey, I'm new, building bucktails. What do you think? Who should I talk to? It's a great networking place for fishermen, guides, lure makers,
Yeah.
anything you have to do in the musky industry.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
And just
And it's great.
And the networking is just
That's probably the biggest part.
you know
Is the connections and
Yeah,
you know,
I
the
have
people
I
that you
have
meet.
a great picture that sits on my office desk at work, and It's, Danny Bush, you and Mike Kep and you and Tom Kep and just all the guys from our area in southeast Wisconsin. And we're all standing right here with having one picture last year at Mistake on the Lake, and it sits on my desk. And it's my calming picture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I'm at work, it's my all right, summer's almost here.
It's almost-
I'll be there soon.
Time.
Yeah.
I'll be there soon. It's almost time to go catch fish, And it's you get to meet some just great, knowledgeable people, and I can't believe how much I've learned from people I don't know that come to that over the years.
And that's kind of the way that it's supposed to be.
Right.
You look at all the clubs and the dynamics of them, and you got the chest beaters and the people that they're all about numbers or size or whatever. You come to something like this, and it's just like we're all the same. We're talking, and you share information, and you're
we're
trying to
all
help.
itching to get out there.
Yeah,
One more week.
we're all in the same boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
You talk freely about stuff, and trying to help other people out.
Yeah, it's been neat actually. I mean, since it started, it's been a really cool experience, and there's been the ups and downs with the weather.
Of course.
I remember the tents blowing over. I mean, and it was just there's nightmares over in the parking lot across the street, right? And that's how it became the Mistake by the Lake. It was a mistake. But everybody, it's a fun time, and eat a hot dog, grab a brat.
Yep.
Shake everyone's hand and get ready for the season and go out and have a good time. I mean, it's what we live for, right?
So I think there might be plans of doing something here later at opening day, maybe having some laughs here.
Could be an interesting day if you do that.
Could be an interesting day as well.
Be a very interesting day.
But first, Mistake on a Lake. So 50% everything in house. I know I'm looking at. We got some super sheds right here that are actually custom painted. Do you know who made those?
Which ones? I don't know who painted it.
Custom.
Yep.
But there's definitely some new lures here.
Oh, there's a lot of new stuff.
There's a lot of new stuff in here.
Lot
I've
of
seen
new
the
stuff.
new 22 longs.
Yep. The Chad Shads.
Yep.
We got. Just looking down the road, we got all the swimming dogs. We got chaos, all the chaos stuff. We got custom colors on stuff, more so than we've ever had.
Yes.
I mean, it's all the bucktails. You go right down the line and see all the stuff people have been talking about for the last couple of years, including Musky Mayhem. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 local bait makers there
on one wall.
On one
On
wall.
one wall.
That's the thing, too.
And
It's
they're
a lot
all
of stuff
proven
people haven't
stuff.
been talking about, though. It's stuff
You're
people
not
aren't
you're
talking
not
about.
going to get it anywhere else.
No.
It's just you're not going to do it. And
Maybe
it's gonna be on that
shop
wall.
up
And they all
north.
catch fish. And
Here are Ross's.
maybe
Ross is.
Maybe. And
and
the Expos.
Yep.
And
That's
they're
about
over.
it.
right.
And that's kind of the ambiance of Smokies. I mean, it's a hometown place.
Yep.
It's family. And you come here, you're part of the family. And everybody knows about Smokies. You
Yes.
come in, whatever you need. The people that work here, we check our egos at the door. I mean, you come in and you start talking about, so where should we go fish? And we laugh, and it's like condos, Rocky Point, Pink Boat House.
Got it. Yeah.
But, and then they kind of look at you. And
The Pink Boat House
it's like,
doesn't
that's
exist.
where everybody goes. And
Right.
then it's like, nah, come on.
Ah,
Taylor.
see you at the
Look at
bullpen.
the map.
Yep.
Why didn't you say the bullpen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you show them here, try this area, look for, if it's a outer weed line bite, you share that information. This is what's been working. And generally speaking, the stuff that people are catching fish on this lake with over the last, I don't know, when did we start the stuff with John when he let us start just taking stuff out of here?
20
that
years
didn't-
ago.
No, it was
Not
when
even.
we had the group of
Yeah.
guys that it was like 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
We cleaned all that
Yeah.
stuff out of the shop.
That
Yep.
just didn't
And,
work.
and
It
everything that's in here is conducive to the waters down here.
Here, it wasn't.
Catch fish with them up north too. Canada, people do that.
What-
But it's
Yep.
about
and
here.
what really what drove that is he stopped doing shows, and
Yeah.
once he stopped trying to be a retailer at a show,
For a big audience.
for this big audience, it was like, all right, concentrate on what works on our body of water.
That's right.
Right here in southeast Wisconsin.
And we were telling him for years before
And he
John
knew.
actually
He
he did, but and it's hard to give up the ghost on stuff. You know that you help people out or companies.
Yep.
And I'm not saying any names on that one, but the friends of his that he tried to help out and that kind of stuff, and it just stuff doesn't sell. You know, people aren't fishing with this stuff down here, and they're not catching fish on it. So what are we supposed to say? So you're gearing them towards something else. But we got a special place in our heart for local companies, people around here that
We don't need
actually
to be selling double pounders.
no. There's people that buy that stuff too. But
you know what? Billet Slammer has made a great bait that was designed for this lake.
yep,
And that man has
you're
done...
looking at it all.
And the man has done a great job doing it. I mean, he is... And they work everywhere. They work
catch
everywhere
fish.
else. They
Absolutely.
catch fish, right? But it's those little things. We're not talking about rod companies. We're not talking... It's the things that work, the little things that work, that make a difference and mean your clients catch fish, or you're catching a fish, or that 10-year-old kid is catching a fish. It's those little things that mean a lot, right? And you've known it making your own baits, that colors are specific,
Yep.
blade size is specific, chilling out on blade size is specific.
Chilling out on feathers is specific.
Chilling out on feathers is specific. Yep. And so, those are all these little things that come with every body of water that changes.
Yeah.
It changes from wherever you're going. I think, I'm sure you have a box for Phillips, Wisconsin that you probably never throw here.
I have two.
Too, right? And I'm the same way, that we'll never see this lake.
No,
It'll
And
never
it's
see this lake.
The same as half my tackle box is down here,
Yep.
and the other half is Presque Isle.
Yeah, and you're right. And
But
it's-
here's the other side of
But
that.
it still works.
Hey,
in some
that's right.
areas.
It'll still
It's-
work.
It's not that it's different lures than what I use down here.
Different
It's like
A lot.
calling up Daryl and saying, "Hey, okay, the custom colors I want for this year are." Well, the two colors. I'm not saying that one for Phillips.
Be quiet.
Okay, I am. But I've custom painted Joe Booker rattlers to go with and that's what that video was on there, was one of my spinner blade attachments on a freaking Joe Booker rattler. Okay.
So, speaking of that, I'd like to take this quick moment to thank some of the sponsors of this show. We got a couple this year. This is something new, so I'd like to give a shout out to these right quick.
That thing headhunted it. Look at that. Just got all the dragon.
Alright, so this is something new. This sponsor commercials are going to make Musky urge even worse. Countdown is on. Chad, Leighton. No, actually, it's not. I am trying to find the correct placement for these ads for people who have helped me out. So you do not have to worry about that. So any feedback is more than welcome for this. It is something new. So let's carry on with the show.
All right. So talking about the different color schemes for different legs and stuff, there's one of the tackle boxes that I have for the Phillips area is very color specific, and I have 12 different baits that I throw down here on a regular basis that I have for up there, but in very specific color schemes. And it's if I can come across a bait company that I really like the stuff, take the Warlocks from I got 30 some custom colors. All I got to do is call a guy up, and he does a custom color.
Yeah,
and that's really cool. Not a lot of companies can do that, so I'm not saying call your favorite bait company. And I keep touching your knee. I'm really sorry, man.
Whatever works. I have a feeling if you call up Suick and say I want this,
they're probably not going to do it.
You're probably not going to.
And it's hard because...
And it's not because they don't want to, it's because
there's 100,000 other people over the years that are doing the same thing. They want, oh, can you do this? You know what? No. Find somebody that paints. Take one of your old beat-up baits.
Yep.
They'll strip it down and they'll paint what you want. Pay the $15 or $20 to have it done. But get the color schemes you want. I mean, to me, that's totally different. The whole difference that it can make in actually putting fish in a boat, as opposed to just seeing a fish, color schemes play a part. And when you got a lure that you're confident in, you can throw whatever bait. But if you don't have confidence in something, you're probably not going to catch something on it. It's when you feel really comfortable with something, and you've caught fish on it before, and then you start playing around with the different things, hey, I can work it this way. Well, what about this color? You know, I've done really well on this lake with this lake, black and orange. It kind of works everywhere, but there are lakes that more predominant orange and black works better than predominant black with a little orange. So, look at the different stuff.
That was kind of one of my questions I had for you on the boat with what walleyes for tomorrow are doing for this lake, and the upsurge in the population of walleyes now for Pewaukee.
Yep.
Is that something that
it's changed the game in a lot of aspects. Absolutely.
It's I have looked at the work that that these guys have put in with Walleyes for Tomorrow Pewaukee chapter, and Tom Kep and his brother Mike and all the guys that have volunteered their hours and time. I don't know if people truly realize how it has benefited the entire fishery. The crappies, the bluegills, the perch, the walleyes, the muskies, the bass, the northern pike in this lake. Everything is incredible. It's a balanced fishery all of a sudden, right? And
it's only taken, 3 years? 4 years?
4 years.
4 years?
4 years and not done yet.
That's incredible. And to be someone that fishes the lake a lot and actually see the transition from what it was to what it is. I mean, to go out and be bass fishing, and you walk into a school of walleye, which never happened before. Okay, and all of a sudden you're going nuts on 15, 16-inch walleye, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a 26-incher in him. It's like, holy crap!
Yeah. When we were out with Dave last year,
I'm
sitting there, I'm like,
he went to figure eight. He's like, I got one. I'm like, figure eight.
And I looked, I'm like, it's a walleye. He looks just like, oh my God, it's a walleye.
It was that fish might have went 34.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was a huge girl.
Giant right. It opened the door.
8 feet of clear water. You know,
Pandora's box for bigger fish all across the board. To have consistently 4 or 5 northern in the mid 40-inch range caught out here. That's insane.
That's big fish down here.
That's
big fish down here.
And the tiger muskies I know of.
Yeah.
That means that fish are spawning again.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's a big deal. You know,
the crappies are big. I mean, how many years? As long as I can remember, you had stunted fish. You had small bluegills. They're all 6, 7 inches. You had crappies that were all 9, 10 inches. And all of a sudden now you're getting slabs.
Yep.
You're getting big walleye. Yeah, and it changed the dynamic of bass fishing deeper on the breaks and the deeper structure, because it's weird how it goes. the bass will actually move the muskie when they're feeding.
Okay.
And like what I was telling you today, with the muskie coming in to feed,
Yeah.
they're more congregate. Well, the walleye are swimming with the bass because they're all feeding on the.
They're all feeding on the
They're all
same
feeding
bait
on the
fish.
same thing.
Same bait
and it's
fish.
now they're double teaming the muskie.
Yep.
And it's you're still going to catch muskie. They're still going to be around. But it's weird how you're in an area that's always been, we always see muskie here, blah, 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 and all of a sudden you're throwing a smaller bait, and all of a sudden, bam, you're
20-inch smallmouth.
Yeah, you got a 5 pound smallie or a large
This
going
lake,
in. It's just like, what the heck?
since the efforts from Walleyes for Tomorrow, Pewaukee chapter, I would say this lake doesn't even resemble itself from 5 years ago.
No.
That big of a change?
Yeah,
That big of a
it's
change.
that big of a
And,
change,
you've seen this in every aspect, not just the walleyes.
not just the walleyes.
The year after the first time they put the fry out, okay, there was a distinct change for me in color schematics of lures, and the purple with the golds, the actual gold, the walleye, blues and whites. It changed to where if you weren't throwing one of those colors, your black and silver was serious. It really blew up. And it was different with the lighting. When the sun was up, you wanted more of the walleye color. When the sun went down, it was the blacks. You're talking about the silhouette part of a lure then, and it literally changed the dynamic of what kind of color schemes you were fishing with and being consistent with. I mean, that walleye color scheme, it became prevalent again.
It's now like, okay.
They see it all the
like,
time.
what are you
And
throwing?
it's like,
What is
oh,
that
hey,
color?
there's a walleye, I'm going to eat it.
No, it's not a walleye color. It's a carp color.
Well,
It's a sucker color.
now that some of these walleyes are getting a little bit bigger, and with Muskie's Inc. stocking muskies in here, do we have chances of some of the bigger walleyes eating all the muskies?
Oh,
No.
absolutely.
What are we?
Yeah.
Polish Minnesota now?
Yeah, here we go.
No.
That walleyes
You know
are just
what?
going to
One-
chow
yeah,
down
here
on
we
that.
go. It's all gonna go. You're stirring the pot, Colin. That's all you're doing.
yeah.
Yep, all the walleyes are gonna eat the
yeah.
muskies.
And
now.
the fuse is lit.
Yeah. So we can deviate off that because that was just a joke, but no,
Right.
that's
I took it pretty serious.
Yeah, I know you did. I saw your face. I was like, hold on. Don't get the big boy going
I
here.
know
Hold
this
on a
is kind of
second.
like the broadest question that everyone kind of asks and hope to get a magic answer, and this is kind of based off the colors. But Scott Polson is asking, kind of based on the late spring, which we had snow on the ground 4 days ago. What should I be looking to throw on Pewaukee for muskie around opening day? So a little bit of muskie opener tactics. What are you thinking going into this week and a half left?
Well, I'm calling bullshit, and I'm saying pounders and double tens.
Yep.
Okay.
Double pounders.
Double 12s. if you
Double
get me one.
12s.
Okay.
Yeah. The biggest thing you
No.
can find, I would think. Yeah.
Check your water temp.
It's
Your
funny
wife's
because
cat.
as many times as that question comes up in wherever, in here, out on a lake,
Wherever.
talking to whoever, okay, the oldest synopsis of this lake, and there still isn't a lot of people that do it. They don't listen. They hear what you're saying, but they don't listen. You were at the seminar I did for Muskie's Inc.
Yeah.
a year and a half ago. How many people do you think that I saw from that were doing the stuff that I was talking
That
about?
were from rattle traps?
That were sitting there talking about Janie's flies, the
Yeah.
rattle traps, the small rubber, spinner baits, and all that kind of stuff, and fishing the shallower water. I saw maybe a handful throughout the year.
I'm not gonna lie.
Literally.
I voyaged, but I voyaged probably like 200 yards onto the east end.
That's
It's-
my best
this
search
is-
bait for the springtime is a safety pin spinner bait.
Absolutely. Hey, the
Pretend you're,
small baits
pretend you're
out
bass
here,
fishing up north. Memorial Day weekend, of course, Pretend you're bass fishing. You'll have 3 muskies come up within an hour.
Yeah.
Put your
And
high points down and go back on them.
I still say, and I'll argue anybody about this, that bass fishermen on this lake catch more muskie than the muskie fishermen.
And you know what? More musky fishermen catch
Catch
more
more
bass than the dang bass fishermen.
That's right. 'Cause every time I see a bass on a musky lure, I'm pissed. It's like, are you kidding me?
Oh, another
Come
five,
on.
another
Another
five,
five.
another 5.
Yeah.
Get out of
Next.
here. Yeah.
Jeez. But no, that's the small baits
I-
rock. you know.
Yeah, my suggestion from my experience and growing up here and stuff has been, this has always been a lake of small baits.
Yes.
As far as the musky world goes, okay?
Yes.
And that's year round.
Now, is that Pewaukee specific, or can you kind of equate that to Oconomowoc, Okachi?
No.
I'm going to say it's Pewaukee specific.
It's very Pewaukee
absolutely.
specific. And I think there was a time where everybody started pounding bigger baits because it was something different, and they were catching good fish. But I think traditionally, and now this is going to change over the next, I'm going to give it 3 seasons.
Okay.
It's going to change a little bit because of what we talked about with walleyes for tomorrow and the changing of the panfish size and all of that. So some of that stuff's going to change a little bit. But everything's been stunted panfish. It's been millions of small perch that are 2 to 3 inches big, and they're just gorging on them. And that's what the walleyes ate. That's what the bass ate. That's what the muskies ate. And so everything 2 to 3 inches. So if you went to 6, it made you feel good because you were musky fishing, right? I mean, really, okay.
Well, I still musky fish with the Booker Rattler, so I'm still sitting there.
You're still at 3 inches,
Yeah,
right?
and
And so, and I think that's why, like, when Bill came out with the shads for trolling,
Yep.
It's that 4-inch, right?
It's in that realm.
It's in that realm. It's that small bluegill thing that was good.
I gauge it with the. I go from 3 to 8 inches, and anywhere in between.
Okay.
If I'm throwing a 10-inch bait, it's a Suick, or it's a double 10.
And you're irritating them.
Yeah.
You're doing it to irritate them.
Absolutely.
You're not doing it because they're eating it.
No,
You're not matching
I'll
the
throw-
hatch.
Yeah.
I'll throw. I fish with a lot of other stuff, but I fish with a lot of my stuff too. But one of the best lures, other than my stuff, from opener until close, is. Now I lost my thought. It's the the Musky Innovation Shallow Invader. I love shallow invaders. I catch a crap ton of fish on shallow invaders all year long. It's a perfect size bait.
Now you're shaking your head.
Why do you hate that? Come on, tell the story. Tell a story.
It's a bad hookup percentage on that bait.
I have been bumped so bad on those things.
A bad hookup percentage, man.
I'm not going there.
I'm not a fan.
I don't want to piss anyone off.
I don't want to piss anyone off either, but I had a bad hookup percentage on that fucking bait. That's all I'm saying.
Can't do it.
And as far as
I
spring-
want to watch you do it.
As far as spring fishing goes, too,
I want to go fishing with you, and I want to watch you
All right.
hook up. I really do. I
don't
really
count out
do.
live bait, man. Hang a 4 or 5 inch sucker over the boat.
Now, that,
If you can find them, hang it over the boat.
now we were out
You
there
increase
today,
your odds.
and water temps were
45 to
45 to 40.
47?
Yeah.
Yeah.
47?
Okay, so
48.
when it's feasible now to have some
Oh,
smaller
there's
suckers. out
we
there.
have suckers to start the season in
But-
here, and
yeah.
people buy them and they fish with them. Here's
How,
the
when do we stop?
problem.
What's the?
Oh, you could fish
You
with
don't.
them all year long.
all year long.
Don't
the
stop.
problem is that when you go and you start sticking treble hooks in a sucker,
Yeah.
and the air temp is hot, the water temp is hot, where you have them sitting, they're not lasting long.
Okay.
And
So that's what I'm kind of saying.
yeah,
like, when should we kind of it might be a waste of money.
I'm a 60-degree guy. 55 to 60.
60.
I'm done.
I got suckers hanging.
Yeah, right about there is kind of my. That's kind
Kind
of
of
how.
the cutoff.
That's for me. That's my limit. Everyone's different.
See, I guess the when you start talking real numbers, it's everybody's got their own perception.
Right.
The serious number when you start where you want to have 3, 4, 5 suckers hanging out is when you get to 50 degrees. So for me is that's when I'm serious about it. Before that, if it's 60 degrees, if it's getting down in the low 60s, absolutely hang 1 or 2 suckers out.
But
you're still
I'm not.
casting.
We're not doing a flotilla though.
No,
you're
God,
you're
no,
casting.
You're not
still-
wasting.
because there are days those fish want that live bait, and there are days that they want that artificial bait.
And I guess that's where I was going. Is I'm thinking spring because we're talking
Yeah, I'm
spring
talking
now.
spring right now.
Right. So as we come into it,
Yes.
I'm
60.
looking at, when I start seeing those water temps, when I start seeing it 55, I'm like, I'll still float one.
Yeah.
One.
You could even use a pike sucker at that point. I mean, like
Well,
what,
or-
what you get
yeah,
up
creek
north.
chubs
Yeah,
or-
creek chubs. We're not
Yeah.
talking 15-inch suckers.
We're
No, I'm-
4 or 5 inches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4 or 5
Yeah.
inch creek
Yeah.
Yeah,
chub
the
or
pikeys.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Which Smokey's got.
Right.
We got.
But I
Okay.
We
mean,
will.
they're
We will.
opportunistic
We're
feeders. So
opening it.
I mean, if you're bringing that bait in and they're kind of lazy on it, you can steer them toward that minnow.
Yeah.
They're gonna eat
Switch
it.
their mood. But I just like, all right, opener, come out here, maybe get a chub, run off the back of your boat. But I don't want people to be like, oh, it's still springtime, but it got hot really quick. I should still be doing chubs. Just maybe double think it. 60.
Hey, guys are walleye fishing with chubs all summer.
They are. Hey, it's a bigger freaking minnow.
Yeah, it is.
It's just you got to keep it alive. Figure out a way
That's
to
the
keep the
hard
thing
part.
alive and
You're good.
go with it.
And have a nice, sensitive Elk River glass rod for fishing your live bait.
Yeah.
I just pitched that.
No, I'm saying yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you just pitched
With a whole new line.
I know who's on my show right now.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying.
It doesn't say Jim Komar and Elk River Rods for nothing. Come on, no? Definitely. But, agreed. So, hey,
So,
guys
yeah.
come in.
I can't say anything.
No.
Get,
Good.
But yeah, it
it doesn't hurt.
doesn't hurt.
Opener. Grab one. Run it off the back.
Yep.
Absolutely.
How much
Run it right next to the boat,
and
dude.
I will tell you, I got to say this just for Adam's sake.
Oh boy.
Okay. Last fall, the last 2 weeks that I was out here, we actually caught more fish on the shallow invaders than we did on the 4 fucking suckers that I had sitting.
You just swore
I'm really
on
sorry.
live.
It's okay.
You just
Um,
swore on
I
live
did.
video.
All right.
Yeah,
Adam's
it
been
happened.
swearing all day.
Yeah, I don't care.
Shane was on last week, and it was...
That's true. I don't feel bad now.
Yeah.
It's okay. I let one go.
Yeah. You let one.
It's all right.
Fine.
It's
All right.
one.
Okay.
All right.
It's okay.
It's not like the CEO, man. You
Yeah.
can't get fined.
It's a podcast.
No.
So we got...
So, any questions?
Oh, what's this?
Oh, come on in.
For a restroom, can I use your restroom or no?
Yeah, go
Just-
ahead.
We're doing a live podcast though, so go ahead.
All
Yep.
right, thanks.
Leave $1 in the back of the tank.
So we got Clarence saying you trolled Booker Rattlers.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I will troll them. I will cast them. And I like the way that I troll them is I'll put my. That's really funny. I'll put my front trolling motor on 3.5,
Yeah.
and I'll hang on to them, or I'll have clients hang on to them. If they get tired, we stick them in the rod thing. But yeah,
The rod thing?
The rod.
Is that
the
the
rod
professional
holder.
term?
The rod term.
That's a
The rod.
Well, there's
technical
so
term
many
for
of
the
them,
rod
so it's
thing?
a
Guide
thing.
term.
But and when I do it, I like short line trolling. I don't fish deep. doing
That
a
would be
whole
my
lot of trolling.
moment to give a plug out to Blue Water rod holders out of Michigan. The rod things
So
out of Michigan.
You took me out on the lake today to show me some stuff about what to look for earlier, which I really appreciate, Joel. And
It's all right.
you kept on saying, "Oh yeah, short line trolling, and I had to ask you, "What's that? What do you mean? What does that mean?"
It's literally short line trolling.
Short
And
line,
it's
straight line.
Short
No
line or straight
way!
line?
You're kidding me.
straight line, short line.
All right.
No, it's the way that I've done it all the time is depending on what lure you got.
Yeah.
It dictates how much line you got out.
You
If-
can't be serious right now. How can you even keep a straight face and try and save yourself from this one? I'm sorry.
So
We've been guiding for 20 plus years and you just said that on a podcast. And everyone's still watching
I
us.
know it's kind of funny. It's
No,
kind
I'm
of
not.
funny.
But it is kind of exactly what it is. It's short line trolling. But
It's a simple
They're
answer.
not on the weeds, they're on the
Simple No, wind blowing short, man.
The ice is
It's
honeycomb.
absolutely imperative to be on the wind blowing shore with the
cannot-
weeds and the rocks.
Oh,
if you want to go into a little bit more detail,
I will.
than that.
would you like
I
to
will
go
do
into
that.
more
I
detail?
would, absolutely.
About the
Absolutely.
weeds or the rocks?
You know, I really thought you were just going to let it.
No, I
No,
wasn't
you
letting
just
that one go.
can't do that.
No,
No,
no.
the
I
type
love
of-
you,
the
but
type
no.
of, the type of lure that I use dictates how far back I put the lure.
Okay.
So if I'm using a super stalker, which I'll say because like nobody fishes with these anymore, that was always my go-to short line and bait. I knew that if I put the thing back 12 feet from the boat, out right on the outside of the prop wash, the person sitting in the front of the boat, could watch the whole show, see the lure in the water, see the fish hit, see the explosion, and
no
go
real-
absolutely nuts.
I need depth charts. How much feet back? Do I
No,
need
it's
a planer
literally, it
board?
was
Do I-
12 feet, foot to foot and a half down, depending on if you're going with the wind, against wind. That's that whole shoreline thing again. With if they're not in the weeds,
Counter
go to
trolling
the
on a rock.
parent.
Yeah.
It's a weed thing.
Then
Milfoil.
if you go something with, if you do,
Cabbage.
you know, I don't know where his 4-inch slammers are. If you do something like that, well, maybe you're going to only put it back 8 feet.
Because it might dive.
Because it's going to be diving a whole lot. You want to have it at a certain depth, especially fishing. If you're fishing over the tops of weeds, if they're deeper weeds, if they're shallow weeds, you want that lure to be somewhat over the top of it.
Don't be afraid if you see the bait.
No, hell, absolutely not.
Heck
Snore
no.
again.
Heck
no. No, you want to see the bait. That's number one. You can see the action of the rod tip, but seeing the lure shows you there's no weeds on it.
Now there's a time and a
Number
place
two,
for that too, though.
Of course.
Weeds on a bait
Time of year.
aren't all that bad, but it may take a
Right.
little action off of it, and that might be the difference to actually have a strike. Now we're really getting into it, aren't we?
We are. Now
Okay.
you're getting a little too much.
So we got Kathy Belfield. How about a live call-in show? Guys, if you have questions, you can ask on her here, or if you actually want to call.
Easy, KB.
KB can just not call. I think, was that her blowing up my phone? Was your phone ringing?
My phone was going to.
If she wants to book a guide trip, I'm available, and I've got 7 Mondays open left.
So if you have questions or anything, you can respond in the comments. Live call-in shows are something that I'm trying to work on for callers to take live. So eventually down the road. But if you really want to get on to ask a question on a show, call Komar or Dave
No.
Legacy's guide service. because
Call,
his phone number is
call
on the
Joel
screen
at
right now.
Dave's Legacy's Guide Service.
But
He's got it. He's
Back-
got you handled.
back to that short line trolling. The
So
time and place.
time and place.
Now there's so much of that.
You know what?
In
There are guys that do it, that troll all the time.
Sure.
And there are guys that hate troll. There's a time and a place for it. I mean, if you're not seeing anything for like hours, throw a couple of baits out and start driving. Start driving
Well,
the weed.
take
line.
that would
ladder.
actually this
Take
would be
a
a good
ladder.
conversation
Absolutely.
for you because you and I talked about that, how we were going from like how you said we went from spot to spot and we didn't waste any time.
Right, you throw. a
So it
couple
was
baits
like
in the
I'm
water.
casting,
Yep.
we tossed a couple baits
Very
out
good
and we
point.
rolled it.
That's awesome.
And
nothing
if-
fancy, no counting line. Just give it a little
Yep.
see what
just-
happens.
Just run it.
Lure in the water.
Run it.
Yeah.
The lures in the water.
If you're
And
gonna putt along and just have a soda or something.
It's
And-
probably at the same depth that you were
I-
retrieving it at.
Now-
exactly.
Now-
You're not
now-
going that fast.
what I will say is that the anti-trolling crowd thinks that trolling is so much easier to catch fish
No, it's not.
doing. And I challenge them any day of the week to meet me at the dock and go have a trolling contest and tell me that it's easier to catch a muskie trolling.
There's an absolute science to it.
There is a science to it. It's no different than being able to. There's no difference in being able to work your special casting bait
I've heard,
in the right
I've
spot.
heard the comments. I don't want to interrupt you, but
Go ahead.
I've heard the comments of all you got to do on Pewaukee Lake is throw a bait behind the boat and start driving. Totally false.
Yeah.
You might get really lucky, but go ahead.
You might get really lucky.
You might get really lucky.
You might get really lucky.
Yeah.
But you know what? Chances are
You're not gonna.
you're not gonna. You're not gonna. And
There's so much, and
If
as much as this lake
if you don't
changes,
have the
every
right
year
line, the right
throughout the
bait,
season,
the right color, the right everything, the right speed, the temperature, the moon phase, all the things that play into the science of catching a fish.
How many casual boaters are in the area?
That's
I mean,
which
That's
way's
huge,
the
too.
water churning?
but there are.
You know,
a
we
lot
joke
of-
about that stuff. You know,
But
we
it's
joke about
kinda-
it, but
kinda
it's
true.
kind of
Yeah.
true. I mean, as much as we joked
on a
about
Friday night at 5:00.
I-
It might be a little harder than a Monday at.
it, and
it can be as subtle of a thing as what we were talking about today when I was explaining about the weed edges.
Yeah.
Where I was showing you on the North Shore and the different steps and stuff of casting, you staying out in 12 to 16 feet or whatever depth that you're at, and casting in over the weeds and coming out, as opposed to being in and casting out and coming in. It can be that subtle of a thing of what your speed is. Are you going against the wind? Your prop might say, your speedometer might say you're going 4 miles an hour, but in reality, what are you really going?
Right.
Are you going too fast with the wind, or are you going too slow against the wind? And it's all and with the shoreline trolling.
Does that kind of cancel?
I go by the action of the lure.
You have to.
I pay attention to the speed, but I want to see that action that I want to.
And I think and this isn't. I'm not trying to do a shameless plug, but again, but I'm going to. I think that's where Mark at Elk River Rods, when he developed the trolling rods, and we all put our 2 cents in up there, that being able to have the different weight rods and being able to see those tips moving the proper way. When you have the right bait with the right line, with the right rod, you know it's working. And I'm not saying Elk River is the only rod out there that anyone should fish. It's not where I'm going.
Or you're getting into trolling and
no,
you
it's
need
just,
to go.
It is.
It's that
you learn to read your tools.
It's
is
that,
where I'm going.
It's that specific. It's that scientific or in depth that companies are getting to make fishing that much more easier for people to figure out. We talked about electronics today and how back in the day, I mean, I was telling him stories. It was funny.
Green machine. I joke about the green machine.
Well, we were talking quarter sticks of dynamite and the walleye guys. But take that to Minnesota. How about that? But the way things were back then were we didn't have depth finders. You were finding out the depth by lowering an anchor with a rope and counting out how
every
many
3
feet.
foot with a knot.
Or making it easier like that if you didn't want to try to lose count as you were lowering it down. Throwing a bottom to see what kind of bottom.
Throwing a grandma on and driving until you hit bottom and then marking the line. I mean, come on! I mean, that's what you did.
That's great.
I mean, that's what we all did. It was
the way this stuff has gone over, especially the last decade, just leaps and bounds with electronics. They make it so that if you go out there, you feel bad if you don't catch a fish. I mean, some of this stuff actually shows that's a fish. Look at how big that thing is.
What kind is it? Oh, it's an actual muskie with a 10-2 side.
Tiger muskie.
But it's ridiculous.
Only if it's brown.
A brown tiger.
But
long story.
Someday I'll
trolling can get so detail oriented, where you said the right line, the right rod.
But
it goes back to understanding the body of water that you're on, understanding the structure, why you're there, and why the fish are there. You figure out that information, and you're going to be on fish consistently, no matter what you're doing, if you're trolling or if you're casting.
I think with the so one of the things I saw at the shows this year, after how many of them?
What show?
All of them.
Okay.
But Wausau was a real big one for me. So Captain Dave Olson from now Olson Adventures Outdoors, Studio 360, the Big O.
Big O.
He's been up on the Bay of Green Bay, and he's venturing out into doing this guiding thing. And he's a good big water troller. And I had a lot of guys come into the Elk River Rods booth, and they're like, well, I want to buy, I live up north, I want to buy a trolling rod, and I was told to come to you. And your first thing is I just want to sell you a fishing pole, right? I want to sell you a great fishing rod. But when you start asking them questions like, what body of water are you trolling? What baits do you have to troll? What reel did you pick? What line do you have? What leaders are you going to use? And all of a sudden, it was much easier to say, you know what? Walk across the row and go troll on Green Bay with Captain Dave Olson, or call Smokey's Musky Shop, call Joel, or give me a buzz, and don't go spend a bunch of money until we show you what the mistakes we've already made. And a lot of us have made mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
We've wasted money.
Absolutely.
Don't waste a bunch of money on planer boards and the wrong leaders and the wrong line and all of that, right?
That all goes back to what Joel said, though, is you can have all the electronics in the world you want, but unless you're looking at that bait and seeing what it does and knowing that it's working properly.
There comes a time, and I preach this, old school should never die. We should, collectively as a group, never allow old school to die. Hog wobblers still work. Creepers still work.
Yep.
MEPs still work.
They do.
You get into the, look at the big shiny Suics. Oh my God.
Hogs. Wood Suics.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And this stuff
TJ.
still works,
Yep.
but you get the big stuff and the new stuff, and it's all shiny. Oh, let's try this. People get hooked on this stuff, and then you get videos, and it's all great. But then you get videos of all these big fish, and people don't take into account. Look, this is all edited stuff, and it's
That
over a long
30-minute
period of
clip
time.
was
They didn't catch that in a day.
It wasn't, you know. And there are days where you have a lot of big fish days,
Right.
but it's all put together. They're looking at the end game of what they're using. Oh, you remember the big the Musky Mayhem double 10, the
Giant craze.
Cowgirl?
the cowgirls,
Yep.
the craze, the rubber craze. Man, it's all got its shelf life, and it's not that they're catching any more fish. It's that more fishermen are using them, hence they're catching more fish. It doesn't put anything else to shame. All that other stuff still works, and it's when you get into all this stuff, and you got the $3,000 electronic depth finder sitting in front of you. You got the $500 rod, the $400 reel, the $80 line, and then now you've got the $100, $150, $200 lure at the end of the line. And it's like, man, you don't have to do this.
But if that's all you're throwing, that's all you're going to catch fish on.
Yeah,
Like you said, like the double 10s and the rubber, that's all anybody was throwing 10 years ago.
it was. I mean,
And that's why so many
took over
fish got caught on
everything.
it.
I had a great 2 weeks ago. I hooked up with Scott Wilkie,
Yeah,
the president of the Wisconsin Musky Club, right?
Yep.
Is that what it's
I
called?
believe this was
Right. And so we were up at Point Burger Bar, and I was telling him about he had mentioned to me about, you know, if you did a seminar, what would you do it on? And
You?
Yeah. He asked me if I was going to do a seminar,
Yeah.
what would I do it on?
What would you do it on?
I don't know if he's going to show up with a Mercury shirt
Yeah.
on. and-
Yeah,
Got an orange life vest.
yeah. You never know. Never know what I might show up and dressed as.
Hi, my name's Jim.
And
So,
I deserve that. I deserve that.
Oh, yeah.
And it would be, and I've been kind of slowly working on it here a little bit, but it would be having the proper tool to fish old school baits. And that's coming off of just what you said, and that's why I'm bringing it in right now. Because,
having the proper tools to fish old school baits.
yep.
Correct.
So,
Okay. Now, me as a young gun, starting off 3 years ago, I don't know anything but, you know, what's...
you know,
No.
8 foot plus rods.
There we go. That's it.
And you know baits
Traces.
that catch fish.
That's
And high speed reels.
Yep.
And all the fancy stuff.
I got an old Q stick sitting at home that's
But-
6 foot long.
So, what you
Get a
just said there,
6,500
5, 6,
up.
yep.
do you think because of the equipment they had back when Suic made his Suics, those Suics were tuned to work with those correct equipment at the time, period?
That's
Yep.
I think
110%. I personally believe that.
Maybe that's and I agree with that partly, in a sense of
To make it work like it was intended to?
Yes.
Yeah, I
To
don't
be
think
to be as famous as it was?
no.
I believe it.
You really think so?
I absolutely do.
See, I think they made what they made because that's what they knew how to make. In a sense of, you look at the whole transformation of the power braids. Okay, we had Cortland, the black line, and it's
Background,
stretched.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Okay,
stretched. I agree.
And we fished with that, what, 30 years? 25,
Talking
30
like
years?
Musky Master.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was no other line. There
Right.
was no other line.
And I guess what I'm saying though is that where I'm going with this is that we've got no stretch line. So that means our shorter rods have to be a little more flexible. So like if you look at the Scott Lewandowski 7.3 jerkbait rod, okay, that Elk River rod makes, there's so much flex in that tip that there's all that bend in there. It makes that bait do things that I don't care if it's a suic, a reef hog. It's the old school baits that you tool a rod to.
See, I
the
think,
right tool
I think we
to
know
use
that,
that
now,
old school.
but I don't think they knew that back then.
They didn't.
That's just
No,
what
I'm
they
not. I'm
had.
not saying
did.
that they had this in mind. Like, oh, we're going to design this because this is all we have right now. It's going to get better in the future. But I'm just saying, like, hey, I want to make this lure. Okay, and in order to test it and to get good action, they've only had Dacron, pool cues,
Yeah.
Right.
engaged, always real, like fixed gears.
And they
reels.
looked at it and were like, "Oh wow, this is pretty cool." And then fast forward 40 years later, holy crap! Look at what we can do with this.
So do
stuff.
you think
Right.
that?
Okay, I get.
Yeah,
I-
and that's
I'm
where
with
I'm going. And that's
All
where
right.
I'm
Do you
going.
think
And
that actually could be making a difference?
I
with
think it's
Some
huge.
of the older the reef hog, the
I
suics,
think I've seen my catch rates 40-50% up
on those particular baits with the correct tool.
with the correct tool. And that's really what I want to talk about. And that's I think you're seeing a regression in rod length as we saw everybody going out to 8. And I know you love your big rods, and you know James has made a great living at long rods, and he loves them, and I love them. I appreciate them. I get them all. I get it. I understand the length on a lot of that stuff.
Hey,
But
I just want to bring up. It's been an hour. Are we still cool with going on?
I'm
cool.
fine.
I got
Okay.
time.
So I
Yeah.
just got called that I don't have to be until work till 7 a.m. tomorrow. So.
Yeah, the boy.
Okay.
All
One for
right.
the record, TJ, the text message you sent me. No, it is not that shirt I'm wearing.
Okay.
I'll show
So
you the
carry
message
on with
later.
that.
So what I think we have to look at is that there's a time and a place for these great big long rods, which have
There
been,
is.
10-footers,
there
9-6.
are
It-
9.6,
The time and a
9
place
foot.
for me was in my last boat.
Yeah.
That the
I'm-
10.6 was great because I could literally be down in the water 3.5 feet. I could reach out. I'm out 5.5, 6 feet doing this stuff. In the boat I'm in now, the 9-footer is the thing. I don't know that I could actually fish with an 8-foot rod anymore.
And
It is so uncomfortable to me.
and
Literally.
I live on my 7.3 jerkbait rod, but it's balanced right. It's been designed to do what I do, the way I fish.
Have you seen
And-
an influx in the butt ends on the rods?
And
notice
that's
the
what-
changes that's
And
that are
that's what
coming?
we did.
Well, St. Croix's new.
The rubber rod,
New rubber rod.
and some of
Phenomenal
the new
rod.
stuff.
You know,
Yes.
Some of the new stuff coming out.
You know, John Klicheski and up at Lake X and John Carlson. I mean, they had great input on those fishing poles, and they're great fishing rods.
It's,
I mean,
like that rod is a tool for rubber.
that's
That
what
is the correct
it was
tool
built.
for rubber.
It was built for that, and it really is. And
And modern day rubber with the tools that we have in hand.
It really is a
I'm
nice
I'm
rod.
sorry, but I'm still fixed.
it's a great rod.
At like, okay. So are you saying that you think you can get a better action out of a Suic? Now maybe an older Suic with these correct gear rather than my whatever current up to date rod and reel and
Absolutely.
line. Okay.
Absolutely. I can put a rod in your hand tomorrow,
Mhm.
and you will work a suic or a reef hog or a bobby bait, and it will never look like anything you ever did without that rod.
Better than my Gander Mountain rod with.
Yes.
Now, how specific are you talking about with tools? Are you talking about braid? Like, are we throwing Dacron on that reel?
No.
Okay.
No.
Your tool
No.
is.
I'm a vicious line guy. We all have our love.
Yeah.
I go with whatever's
I'm a
cheapest
braid.
because they keep raising the prices on
They-
it.
yeah,
So I switch like the wind.
But you said
changes.
my-
Yeah, I'm not.
My.
But I think that
What's it called?
the rod is the tool
The rod. Okay, specifically.
to make the
Literally,
bait.
I'll take it a step further. The rod and the reel,
Are-
because
yeah.
you got to
The
have the
line
right
pickup.
retrieve.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing that and you got a 8-1-1 Daiwa Alexa on,
And it's
you're
going
suck,
too
you got to go
so fast.
But if you got a Tranks 500 with a
Like
4-9 to
5-3,
1,
yeah.
then you're going like this trying to suck
okay,
up the line
yeah.
with. So the reel goes along with the rod. I
And
think,
every
for-
bait,
for
and those baits are different.
line pickup.
And,
Yeah.
you know, and that's really what the discussion, I guess, is where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Was that
I knew what you were putting out. I just didn't know how specific you were getting with.
Yeah, and when you look at I'm going to leave him unnamed. But he is down to fishing nothing but 30-pound braid. And I can't believe he does it, but the guy puts more fish in the boat than many men I know. Many men and women I know.
I
And-
can get that concept, but a lot that goes along with that is actually tuning what you get, what you have.
Yeah.
Because you can't lock down a reel when you're fishing with 30-pound test. You got that fish when it starts head shaking or running, it's got to be able to take out line and go.
Yeah, it does. And I don't trust it personally. But I watched this guy. I watched this guy
That's
catch,
scary as
you know,
crap.
60, 70 muskies a year, and I just shake my head and I'm like, huh, all right. So I think sometimes we just overkill it. They're fish. They're muskies. You know, they're keep it simple, stupid, and we've talked about that before. And I there's a time and a place for everything. And when you're fishing old school baits, think about how those baits were designed to be fished. If that makes sense. They were.
Now I'm trying to think of relatively new baits that are designed to be fished with specifically these high-speed reels, like the Abu Rocket, like that 7-1.
Your stuff.
Which is my stuff. Okay, but like, I don't know if people are designing
Ripping crankbaits.
True.
Ripping.
The thing that I can think of is like double pounders, those really heavy. Where like, okay, you know.
And are we going too fast?
And then some say could definitely just be like, are we going fast enough?
Yeah, you know, again, what it comes to,
I mean, we troll at 5-6 miles an hour on St. Clair. Right?
Everybody's got their comfort zone on how they retrieve and do stuff.
Yeah.
And if they're doing stuff and they're catching fish, who are we to say that they're doing it wrong?
Well, no,
I
and
mean,
this is a cool conversation.
Yeah.
This is a unique. That aspect got me thinking about
taking what you normally do and going the extreme the other way. If you're a slow, methodical, what would happen if you spent a day just going like this? Just going nuts. Yeah, you'd probably blow out your back, but...
John Carlson inputted, line weight is for throwing the baits we think we need to throw, not for catching the fish.
Correct, and he's 100% right, and that's why he sells a lot of line. And you should buy your line from Ross's Online.
Absolutely, rossesonline.com.
Yep.
I'll go a different realm here. I mean, I remember the fish that I got on the wall that you saw today.
Yeah.
Okay, I caught that on a unnamed brand that was it was like 30 years ago at the Musky Expo, and I think I paid like $40 for the thing. Okay, and it bent. It was a little. There was flex to it. I had a Abu 6500 reel and Dacron line. Yeah, because that's what I knew.
Right.
And back then, I thought that was a crane. And as you go on in time, you want the best of what you can get, and the toughest, the heaviest, 80-pound, 100-pound test line, because in your mind, you're safe. You're going to get that fish in. It's not going to break the rod. It's not going to break the line. It's not going to break your leader. Right. You're already confident that you're bringing the fish in. Yeah. So it's literally, we're fishing with cranes when it comes right down to it.
Yeah.
And
I've caught big
there's a hindrance to it.
4-pound test.
I've caught 45-inch muskies on 6-pound
I'm with you
Trilene XL.
Yep,
on a fuzzy grub.
Walmart OmniFlex,
you know what pier off of what island, and so does John Carlson. So
John says kiss ups. I said no. We're just stating facts. John.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That's why we love him.
That's a unique. I'm having a brain fart. Seminar.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's what, when I look at everyone that I've been able to be blessed to work with in the industry over the last, let's say 10 years, and everybody's 2 cents getting put into it, it's been amazing what I've seen baits do that we forgot that they were supposed to do it. We forgot what they were supposed to look like. There was a reason our dads and our grandfathers caught a bunch of muskies on those baits.
I remember my early years. My cousin.
We're trying to fish them on 8.5 foot rods. They weren't meant to do that.
Fishing with a black hog wobbler up on the chip, and he was reeling it so fast that it was literally 6 inches under the surface. And I was pissed. I was yelling at him. I'm like, what are you doing? It's a topwater bait. Get it up. Get it clanking. And the guy caught a damn fish. I'm like, okay. I learned something. Fine, you taught me. I never would have thought you could have done that with a hog wobbler.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different stuff. Not that I ever would. But it's
all right.
Are you too good for that, Joel?
No.
No,
not at all.
But you know what? I can give you a number of good fish that I've got in the photo book that grabbed a Lake X topwater on a figure 8 underwater, about 3 feet, 4 feet down on a figure
very
8,
common practice,
and just going down, and they drill it.
The hard thing is actually doing a cannonball in a figure 8 and holding onto the rod.
Well, you need to start working out a little more. That's why I lost 40 pounds, Joel.
No, that's why I short line troll.
Now, off with that kind of topic going, and I know one of Joel's stories, and I don't know if you guys have any of those that are not personal secrets, but do you guys have any lures that you work in a way they were not meant to work, and you've had success on that you'd like to share? You can opt out because, again, everyone's discovered something like, I'm never telling. This is going to the grave with me. Or you don't want to tell thousands of people online. But if you are open to... I know each one of
you saw it. I just gave it to Rory before he's going to the PMT.
Yeah,
I just handed it to him.
We're not talking about that one, buddy.
So I know that
I
each
can't.
of you have, but if you have an older
should I shut
one,
up?
Yeah, you just...
He needs material, though.
I don't even... A no is fine.
No.
No.
Buy him
No.
a
Not that one.
No,
Buy
I'm
him a
saying
scarf.
any in general.
Buy another scarf. I need another scarf. Where's the free scarf? Put it on the... I need a new sunshade.
But do you have something just to give an example to maybe someone like me who's only been in it for 3 years and who only knows...
It's
brain is not developed to
I've...
think outside the box that far.
You go ahead.
We've touched on this before. It's not the lure you're using so much as it is the leader you're using with the lure at times too.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
There's a time and a place for that, and it's something that I learned, and even talking to these two guys and everybody else at the shows as well. I mean, there's certain leaders that you want to use with certain lures. There's different trolling leaders, especially when you're short line trolling.
Okay, so thanks for being very broad and everything. But do we have a very specific? Be like, okay, that slammer. Yeah, if you take the back hook off and put a 2-ounce shaker on it. Do we have an example to maybe help people think outside the box on lure?
I think hook size makes a big difference.
Okay.
Many times, I think lure manufacturers, they got to put their product out, and I get it. It's all about profit margin, and it's a business. It is a business, and that's what it is, right? And for the average guy that fishes once a month, 5 times a year, the average hook on a lure is probably going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Guys like us who are fishing every day or 4 or 5 days a week, who are putting a bunch of fish in the boat, those hooks aren't going to hold up.
Bunch of hours, people who are paying for you to help them
to not lose a fish.
Yes.
And sharp hooks.
And sharp hooks.
So many
I
people
mean,
forget about sharpening their hooks.
It's...
You know, there are hooks that come sharp right out of the box, but they might be baits that have a lot of wag and the hooks are banging against the lure. You know what? One outing, that stuff is dull.
Done.
Sharpen the hooks before you even cast the lure for the first time. Poke your finger. If it's when you go to slide your finger,
Like that.
yep,
Guess what I was doing before I came?
poking hooks.
And
Okay, hooks.
See?
Just fancy.
If it doesn't move,
be scanty.
it's sharpen. You know if a hook is sharp.
and on that note, do yourself a favor. Go to Menards. Go to Home Depot. Go to Ace Hardware.
Half-round bastard file.
Go.
I mean, Smokey's Musky Shop?
You know what? Go buy a RotoZip.
Oh, okay.
Go buy a rechargeable RotoZip or a battery-operated RotoZip and put it in the boat. Put it in your tackle box and zip every hook when you're done. It takes seconds.
Yeah.
And you're not hand doing it. I'm not saying that isn't good for touching up or what have you, but it's just
Try not to get your RotoZip tool near your marabou.
your Marabou will get in the way of your
It is a
RotoZip.
big issue I found out.
It will
Okay.
get
No,
in. Sharpen
if
your hooks
you're only
before
fishing-
you play with the Marabou.
If you're fishing once a week or a couple times a month, you know.
You don't need to buy a
You don't
RotoZip.
need to buy a RotoZip.
No.
You know,
You got a file in the
you get
garage.
everybody
Hand
knows how
top
to
it.
file,
Yep.
and you don't have
Stop
to be
by.
taught,
Just stop by here.
Apparently,
where-
I don't. So before opener, one of you guys are going to show me how to sharpen a hook.
I got you.
Okay, deal. Perfect.
Yeah.
Get that out of the way.
There you
But,
go.
We got a question from Kathy. TJ says, ask Adam about the muskrat bait.
No, don't answer the question.
No, it's okay. This is a clean story. It's fine.
This is
Yeah.
Now we're getting to story
Out
time.
of a
Yeah.
handful. Okay.
No, couple, I'd probably say 5-6 years ago when I first started musky fishing with TJ, if not before that, but I get up there and he says, "You got to come see my pet muskie." Okay, I'll bite, whatever. The muskie didn't. But get back there and he throws a little Meps number 5, which he's so famous for throwing, and here comes the muskie. Nice little
That's
fish.
because that's all you can throw.
Probably 39 inches. Decent fish, and throw a Squirco at it. Same fish comes flying after it.
I love my Squircos.
He throws the Meps number 5, and it comes back again. It's the same damn fish. He's like, I've
Dang
had it.
fish.
That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
But he throws on this muskrat bait that he found in his garage that his dad used to own. And it's like this big. It looks like a wet sock. And he whips that thing out there first cast. He's like, oh, yep, here it comes. And he pulls the bait up to do a slow L turn, and the fish comes diving head first into the boat. And I just whap. I'm like, oh, man.
It came in the boat?
It hit the boat. It hit the boat with its head, dude. I mean, it was coming in hard and
Oh,
fast,
no,
and he
have
just did a nice little
flashbacks, man.
lazy
Oh,
L turn.
We
Yeah.
love you, Joel. You're a great guy.
Man,
That's too funny.
let
I
it
had my
go.
buddy Chad buy a fish the Phillips tournament. Before it was the Steve Schneider when it was the Big Brothers Big
Yeah.
Sisters. And he stopped at he never musky fished a day in his life except once with me. He was fishing with my brother. And he stopped at Raleigh and Helen so he could buy himself one musky bait. I'm like, don't buy a musky bait. Just grab some stuff out of my boat. Go fish with my brother. And he bought one of them gophers.
Oh man,
The thing?
I like the duck.
He scored!
I like the
He
duck.
scored on the gopher up over by the sunken island. How
Oh,
does
jeez.
it even happen? Over by the bridge. He scored on a gopher.
There's a lot of stories. You can
I love
catch them on
stories.
a bobber and worm too.
Yeah.
It's right there.
It's that time of
Jigging
year,
a leech.
boys.
Gopher, jigging a leech.
Yeah.
That's funny stuff, man.
Yep. So what? Hey, Colin, what's your next little project? What are you up to?
I don't know now. Is that a trick question?
No. No.
Um,
I mean, you're a bait maker. You're Mr. Creative. What's up? What's going on with Musky Magnet?
shit, I'm on the spot. The tables have turned. I don't know. I am
Oh wait, it's
flustered.
his show.
Yeah.
He can cuss.
I don't know. Making lures. I made some for myself. That's what I've been doing.
Okay.
I have a couple.
Isn't that hard
orders
to
out there.
do?
I own 2, but now I have a box full. And so I order blades. I'm like, all right, cool. I get to make some own baits for myself.
So we were like, I mean, it was funny on Facebook. I mean, we were kind of joking,
Yeah,
you know, like
of course.
I've got one Lake X lure, and
Yeah, it's
I
true, though.
think I can find a Elk River rod somewhere in my house somewhere.
But yeah, I don't
But, yeah,
have
it's-
that many. And I don't know why, but I'm like, okay, I should probably fish with my own lures. You know, maybe catch a fish or two.
Maybe
on them.
catch a fish or 5.
You know, that'd be nice. But
That'd be cool.
other than that, just focusing more on the podcast for sure.
Yeah,
I'm having way too much fun with this.
good.
Because I get to ask these questions, have fun,
Sure,
and learn things.
sure.
And meet people like Joel, and Komar, and Adam. Like, okay,
let's. Why don't we go into getting your boat ready? Where are you at?
It's ready.
Well.
Oh yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
Only
yeah,
at
that's
Smokies.
Yeah.
Only at
Only
Smokies.
at Smokies.
It's like 90%.
Yep.
Well, no, I gotta say it's
As I'm
probably
still in my-
75%
as I'm still in
now
my
because
North
of
Face
how big
pants.
that really is. No, my Altera didn't work today. Charged batteries. I'm just. Who knows? Maybe it's the batteries. Maybe I really didn't charge it right.
So if
I
you'd like
don't
to
know.
explain what happened,
Yeah,
maybe
I
someone
went
out
to
there
go.
knows.
I went to go put it on, and all these lights started shining up on my remote.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
made 3
what the hell is
beeps.
this? And the thing's beeping.
It
I'm
making-
like,
it's
oh,
making
okay.
noise.
That's right. I forgot to turn the power on. So I go and I turn the power on. I go to deploy it, and it doesn't deploy. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing. And it would not deploy. Nothing worked. All the things are lit up. Changed the battery in the thing, in the remote, and yeah, it just didn't work. So I said, okay, I guess we're not going that shallow today.
So, guys, if you've actually experienced that problem and know what exactly it is, get a hold of Joel.
I got 1-year-old.
I think the
batteries.
problem
It's
might
probably
be
the
Joel.
batteries.
I never worked one of those, so I have
pretty
no
funny.
idea.
It was.
It was pretty funny.
Was it cute?
Yeah, it was.
It was cute.
Yeah, it's kind of like, having all the experience in the world and then forgetting to put your plug in at the boat launch.
Mm-hmm.
It was right up there with that. Not that I've ever done. I did it once, and that was the first time I met John Lehman. And when I parked the truck,
God
I
rest his
came
soul.
back, and my dad had pulled the boat out of the water, and the whole back half was underwater, including most of the water. The boat was under the water, and most of the motor was under the water. And here comes John out of the shop. What the hell's going on? What'd you do? Forget the damn plug? Yes, sir. Whoa! Where's the plug? In my truck. Well, you better go get it. So I had to go get it. And then he came in here and he goes, I got another one in case you need it. I'm like, all right, thanks. So I sat there and bailed water for a half an hour. It was the first time I ever launched here, and that's my first impression of John Lehman. Was he ripped my ass apart because
You were
I
that
forgot
guy.
the plug. Yep, and it was before. Thank God, it was before we started tallying all the idiot stuff up on the chalkboard.
You were. Are we
So
starting that
I'm-
this year?
I'm grandfather claused. I'm immune to
Well,
this.
it
That's
started.
all right.
It started on Mistake on the Lake, so
It's starting. It's starting next Saturday. We're gonna start the tally board.
start the tally board.
I still say opening weekend. You
Yeah.
need to be here, and
Oh, yeah.
if you could do anything with like do a clip.
Yeah.
So the next podcast after
Yeah.
that you could actually maybe talk about this stuff and show clips of, hey, look at what this moron did. Oh, and this guy dragged his whole entire boat through the parking lot because he forgot to unlatch the front
Right.
strap to it.
Look at this guy.
He's
Get
beating his
arrested
wife.
for
Like,
beating his
yeah.
wife.
I didn't have to testify.
You did.
The guy said it. He cut a
pleaded
deal
guilty?
a week before.
He
I
cut
was
a
supposed
deal?
to-
You
yeah.
didn't have to
That was
testify?
2 years. 2 years, and he's fighting a DUI when he could have been done. All
Were
the
you
crap's
here
been
for the two
over.
Russian guys that got in the stabbing out front? No. What? That was funny.
Oh my God!
So again,
No
this
way.
is all here at Smoky.
You never know what you're gonna find,
were
but
here
you'll always
'cause you-
find it
yes.
for less.
Because I got a phone call right after the chick with the jet ski took it right off the trailer and banged into the dumpster.
Oh, poor her. We helped her.
Well,
out.
it doesn't go into. There's no neutral. It's just forward or reverse.
I helped her out.
It wouldn't. She had it in forward. Okay, right?
Yeah.
And every time she had to kill it to stop it from going.
She didn't
and then
realize
turn
that
it
there
on.
was a neutral.
That there was a neutral and a reverse.
And she fired it right up into the
Oh.
bushes, right up onto the boat launch. Just fired right up on the cement. Wham! There we
Yes,
go.
Only at
Smokies.
Smokies. Only.
Only at Smokies.
Obviously, awesome. My computer beep freaked me out. Obviously, an awesome store to come.
Squirrel!
Get your baits, get
Squirrel!
your
Blue
tools, your
skies.
necessities. Boat
Yep.
launch right here. But if you want to just come, relax, see one of you three here.
And a whole bunch more.
And
and a whole bunch more. What are the sight viewing days?
Oh man, the weekends. It's
You gotta come.
It's just
So we have-
and literally it's when
Breakfast beers. We call it breakfast beers. It's kind of in the name.
You got it. Yeah,
gotta kinda-
a late breakfast, almost
Late
a brunch
breakfast.
type thing.
Brunch. It's a
So
brunch.
Brunch
So
beers.
it's
Brunch
it's
beers.
before noon, but it's after 10 o'clock because generally the fishermen,
They're out there already.
the smart ones,
They're gone.
They're off the water by 10. I mean, I try to come off by 9 on the weekends, but
Yeah.
that doesn't happen all the time.
No.
So it's usually 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But it's that time frame, 11 to 12, and then the turnover is kind of like 4 to 5.
It is, and that's when
And
you
then-
go and you get yourself a pizza
right.
over
And
at the
if you wanna see
Curly's
the more-
Waterfront Bar and Grill,
You want to see
or
people
maybe
hit
stop
docks.
in at Gina's Sports Stock and get a burger. You
Right.
never know.
Grab a beer, $2 beer here at Smoke.
Yeah.
Grab a $2 beer here at Smoky's. Maybe pop into Carly's Bar and Grill over on the other side of the lake.
Just
You never
hitting
know.
the gamut.
Keep turning
Yeah.
that around.
Yeah, between
Little baby
maybe
Jesus.
6 or 7,
But definitely,
maybe 7 to 8 is if you want to see the insane stuff.
Yeah.
That's when all the drunks start coming
7
up,
to 8?
especially at night.
oh yeah, at
6 to 7 p.m. ish. That's when the drunks start coming off the lake.
all the
You see them
pontoon,
driving
yeah.
to the docks.
Bounce
not-
their shit off of shit.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah,
Bounce their stuff
it's-
off of stuff.
Yeah.
put their trailers halfway underneath the docks.
Yeah.
Hit boats in the marina.
It's a
That's
stuff
happening
show.
a lot.
Back up their trailers into other people's trailers and
Yeah.
break their lights.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not taken
Oh,
too
yeah.
kindly to anymore around here
No.
either.
No?
No, people get dealt with pretty swiftly when that shit happens.
So have you guys have you seen any of that funny comical boat launch stuff as frequent as here on Pewaukee Lake?
Oh, sure.
Is
There's
this
a-
an every
yeah.
lake thing in the summertime?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Look, you talk about
Oh boy, let's go. Are we going here?
They're talking about changing the guide laws, right? Where guides, we're probably going to have to pay more for licenses. Then you've got the mandatory first aid, CPR stuff, and then proof of insurance.
Yeah.
That's huge. Okay, so it's going to probably cut out some guides from the industry, just because they're not going to be able to afford it or want to go jump through the
Yeah.
hoops to get that stuff done. The same thing should be done for boaters. I don't care how old you are. They need to mandate you buy a boat. Before you take charge of that boat, you got to go through a damn class.
Boater safety.
Boater safety, and you got to pass a test to be able to drive a boat and understand buoys and what they mean and boat etiquette, sitting at a boat launch
fired up
and,
now.
and drinking in a boat because it's worse than driving a damn car. I've seen too much crap out on the lake. Idiots getting in a fight with a guy that gets arrested here at the launch because he's ripping on an old guy because he bounces into the dock, drives right into the damn dock, and then the guy's in his way with the whole dock on the other side wide open. These people that buy these big ass boats that they don't know how to use, they come out once maybe with somebody else driving the thing. They don't know how to launch it. They don't know how to take it off the lake, and they damn well sure don't know how to drive the things. You know,
is that a
absolute
business
rant.
opportunity?
Rant over.
Like,
Good job.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure if anyone ever came here and
I-
asked anyone at Smoky's, be like, "Hey, this is my first time."
We'd
help
help.
me out?
We've done
No,
it.
I've
We've gone
done it.
out and showed them how to do it.
I've done it.
Because the seasons of this is coming.
Well,
And more and more people are buying stuff, especially the young people. I got Daddy's big speedboat today. Ooh, I'm cool.
Yeah.
They don't have to adhere
I
to any
had-
laws. They can do what they want.
I'll use one example. I had a very good close friend of mine and one of his clients. They bought a brand new Lund, gorgeous Pro V. Drove all the way up from Illinois with this boat and wanted to fish out here and test it out. Except for the 2 minutes that the dealer down there showed them how to use it.
They just give you the keys to the boat.
They gave you the
Yeah.
They took them out. They did a little hoop-de-doo, and then we went out. And they called me up. They hired me, and we make it out. Make it out from the dock, and there's some waves, and all of a sudden I'm looking, and I'm like, that trolling motor's starting to bounce a little too much. It was never locked in.
No.
It was in the quick release. It was never locked in. And this guy drove all the way from Illinois with his brand new boat,
could've fell
brand new
off.
trolling motor.
it didn't.
The only
It's
thing that
pretty-
saved him was the cover, and we got it off. But, he was smart enough and I had the wherewithal to be looking at all this stuff. It isn't mine, right? So I'm not taking care of it. So I'm going through everything. And, even if you're not going to hire a guide, let's say, to take you fishing, just to take you out to teach you how to run a boat and teach you the rules of the...
I mean, the first time I bought my boat and tried to launch it took me 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I flooded the engine. Because I've learned now, now
Sure.
it takes me, 30, but,
the last boat I had, the Princecraft,
So
I come here to launch it the first time.
Toss the guy lunch and $50.
Yeah,
And
so what?
it takes you an hour. It'll take you out, show you around, run you through everything, and we'll get it done. Your electronics, all the bit.
Every
Throw
boat
them
is
$100.
different. The Princecraft I had, I kept putting the trailer further in the water to get it further up so that the nose of it would go up over the roller. No, you take it out farther to do it. Well, it took me a couple times to figure that out.
Yeah.
I never knew. The dealer never told me that.
No.
That it should be out farther. We've been doing this long enough. You can figure stuff out in a couple of minutes. But a lot of these people, I mean, that's why opening weekend, I swore for years I wouldn't fish opening weekend. But in spending more time over here, it's, okay, I'm here at 3 o'clock, my boat's on the water, I'm okay, it's all good, and then let all the idiots start coming. Because literally, what you see at the boat launches, there's a reason why there's a line at the West End launch going up Maple Road. Is because you got people at the launch that don't know what they're doing. They haven't started their motor. It's still fogged.
Yeah.
And they sit there for 20 minutes trying to get it going. Where are you supposed to go? Of course, the person behind you, waiting to get on, is going to be PO'd about it. What are you supposed to do? Start the stuff before you come out to the lake.
Yeah, I
figure it out.
Now, and like next weekend's a great opportunity. I mean, there's a lot of us that have already been fishing already because we got
the boat out. Yeah.
The boats have been out. The walleye runs have been going on. The steelhead runs have been going, as you know, and everything's been going, and so people are moving and shaking that are really into it. It's that weekend warrior that shows up for the first time on opening weekend.
Opening day.
Hasn't used the boat
Opening
for a year
day.
and a half.
7 a.m.
and-
Packed parking lot.
Never put an ounce of JB80 or stable in his gas.
Oh yeah, the tank was full last year.
Yeah,
It's
all
good.
It's good. And then he's wondering why everyone's yelling at him out at the front, And it's like, because the guy that did take care of his stuff wants to get his boat in the water.
Yep.
And
guys, come to Mistake on the Lake Saturday.
and run
There's
your
gonna
boats
be enough people here
to help.
that will not hesitate.
There'll be a
We'll
lot of
back
people
you in.
out.
We'll
Yeah,
pull you
absolutely.
out. We'll
That's
help you.
What's
Whatever.
going on?
Yeah, whatever you need.
Great opportunity to do that.
Yep.
Something's not working on your motor, bring your boat down.
Yep.
There's so many people here with so much knowledge, so many grease monkeys probably, that could easily help you.
In contacts with everybody in the industry, right? I mean,
course.
it's
And the great 15% off the whole entire store.
and everything
Come
in
on.
the store. I mean, and there's some cool stuff in here. Actually, I've been kind of looking around.
There's
It's,
stuff.
it's not a big shop. Most people that are watching this, they've been in here or they know about Smokies. It's an awesome place to come to get baits that a lot of it you're not going to see many other places. You've got the mainstay stuff, but you've also got a lot of homegrown stuff.
Like slammers. I don't know if I see any in many other stores.
There might be a couple shops I don't
Oh,
know.
sure. They're around.
Raleigh and Helen, Storm Brothers. I know
Okay.
Bill's
Yep,
got.
Thorne's got 'em.
Bill's
Bill's got it.
But down
Yep.
here,
But they got everything. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's some stuff here that's not anywhere else.
yeah.
And color wise too. I think that's been a big trend in the industry. I think Joel, you could say that, and you
it's
from
really
your
been-
manufacturing days,
I'll tell you what.
that colors are very specific to different areas. We talked
the
about
bigger
that.
companies probably aren't going to do that for the shops. I know John Carlson at Ross's Online, Phillips, Wisconsin. I know he's got some deals with a couple of companies that he gets his shop colors. I mean some Suics,
John tuned in.
Phantoms.
His boat needs to be wash, wax, and vacuum. How about help with that if I bring it?
If he comes down next weekend, I'll wax it for him.
There we go, John.
Yep. If he comes
kept
down,
telling him he
if
could
he
stay at
comes
my
down to
house.
Mistake on the Lake with
I will help.
some Hulk Lake X lures to sell.
Oh boy.
At Mistake on the Lake.
Oh,
I
wow.
will wax his. I will watch
That would
wax.
be
his-
funny.
Oh boy.
That would be funny. I'd welcome that. Absolutely.
You can watch.
I
I'll do it.
would.
Wow.
I
I'm not
would,
afraid.
absolutely.
I am not afraid.
Holy crap.
But the dealing with some of the companies here, and we don't even have to go through the names, but I mean, sitting, Ron and I have met with some of the local companies and come up with shop colors, shop exclusive blades and
I know I've
color
heard Pewaukee
schemes and
Perch
stuff like
a
that.
few times on a couple different.
That's a selling point. I mean, this is stuff that this is like our show season. You know, yeah. I mean,
Mistake on the Lake.
Ross's here. You know, the small mom and pop shops. There isn't too many of these things left,
Not many.
and it's. You know, I don't even have the words for it. It's kind of special in a sense that they're still around because we're banging heads with the big boys. You know,
I don't know
John
if it's.
said, "How about flowage loon with orange?"
oh my
NLS.
God, Northern Lights series.
Northern Lights.
Oh,
I
man.
see.
Then we
So
got
sexy.
Mark Pomeroy. You guys ever hear of
Oh. Yeah.
Heard of that guy.
Yeah. Cubby.
Sure.
What's Cubby's favorite bait? That's what we want to know. Let's have him respond. He's probably still in the package.
So with going into colors,
He's probably sharpening the hooks on his manta right now.
I heard that.
Did I say that out loud?
You did.
Was that a verbal?
It was
Was
a
that a
verbal.
thought or a verbal?
That's live, man. That's live.
I don't know what exactly what you guys are doing for opening day. I know I'm probably going to be here because why not?
I'll be here.
Now, are you guys
I
fishing?
won't be.
Are you guys fishing Pewaukee? Not open. You just
I won't.
Company Smokies. All right. You're
Yep.
fishing. Let's just say you're fishing it. One bait. What are you throwing, Jimmy?
I am fishing a single blade small brown bucktail with an orange blade.
Okay.
Little baby. And lime green reef on. Go figure.
Adam.
I'd probably throw the black and silver musky Mara bucktail I got from TR Custom Lures, and probably even their topwater that I recently got from Tim.
Yeah.
It's a globe style bait. Sorry, bud.
No. I'm just thinking. Oh, great. Okay. It would be one of my custom painted Booker rattlers in a walleye color with a gold blade.
Carp color.
Walleye
Muskies
color
don't eat walleye.
With
We've had this
Man,
talk.
we're not in Minnesota. Oh God.
Muskies don't eat walleyes.
Okay, carp color, gold carp with a gold spinner blade attachment, and a Janie fly in either Fire Tiger or black with.
Did you just say fly?
Yeah, Janie's
flies.
weedless bucktails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know them as
You
Janie's
used the word
flies.
fly.
Yes, I know. It's Janie's.
Do you even own a fly rod?
Absolutely not. But she changed the
Would
name
you like
of
to
it,
buy
so it's
one?
Actually, no, I would not. Not yet, anyways. But no, and we had great luck with them last year.
I have a great deal going on right now. Fly
I want a
rods.
fly
Musky
rod.
fly rods.
I don't know.
So all these items, where can we purchase them?
Well, the Janie's flies, weedless bucktails.
Is that the
I
wagon or
think
the jammin'?
she's at Boulder Sport and Marine.
Yep, Boulder Sport and Marine, and then
Yep.
I think
Been trying to get them in here.
yeah, Becky's got them out at. I think Becky carries some of her stuff out
Yeah, Dick Smith.
at Dick Smith's
Okay.
too. Yeah,
Okay.
Lake Country Local. I think that's probably the closest right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise,
They're
I think
awesome,
you
easy
can
baits,
yeah
so you
you
throw
can
them
go
all
on you
day,
can go
don't
online
worry
too
about
and grab her stuff.
And
Yeah.
Booker
Give
rattle
a call.
traps. Do we have them here at Smokies?
Yep, we got the Booker Rattlers.
Okay.
We got the spinner blade attachments.
Zippity doo.
But that's pretty much it.
Someone came in.
Have a good night.
Good talk. Good talk.
Okay. What about you, Adam? Where can we go get those things that you know?
You
those
can
lures?
check out Facebook. It's TR Custom Lures.
Okay.
And it's Tim Raditz, I believe his name is, and the bucktails I'm talking about, he makes with his daughter too, which is really super cool.
That's a great.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite stories, actually.
Yeah.
That she won that.
Yeah.
She won that best new bait of the year, type thing, and that was cool.
The blades are made for him. They're all brass blades. I mean, he puts his stuff together. It's a super lure. I mean, it's definitely going to be one of my go-tos this year, and I'm going to have the pleasure of fishing with Tim later this year in June
Good deal.
sometime. So
Yeah, that's cool.
he's going to make it up to Presque Isle. So
All right.
can't wait to see him.
Jimmy, where can we get those lures?
Which ones?
The 2 that you mentioned.
Short line trolling.
Right.
Look and
And
stretch
find
his
them
live
on
well.
Look and Stretch his live well. Oh.
Oh man, I can't even. I'm not.
FideliTackle.com. You can get your refogs still. From
We got some here.
Yeah, there's some left. Actually, there are some left here, and they're.
Big
Mike had a real bad injury, which a lot of people don't know about. So he was kind of off the grid, and some people got a little upset with him because he couldn't fill orders. But he ended up whacking a finger, and it wasn't bad. Yeah, and when you're a wood bait maker, that's a bad thing, So, and I'm sure he's ice fishing right now. I doubt he's tuned in right now. I'm sure he's up in Buffalo Bay catching 40-inch, 20-pound plus pike right now. But I hope to talk to him very soon. And then, I think, your smaller bucktails, just keeping it in that, that Rizzo tail area, that Meps number 5,
That size.
that size, keeping it in that, just that
Yep.
short little realm for this time of year. And don't be afraid to go quiet blades.
Yeah.
Just,
The double blade craze. I mean, it's been going on forever.
Yeah.
There are people, and I've seen it more so this year than last year, but there was a lot last year of people looking for single blade
Yeah.
baits.
I have more singles than I have doubles in my tackle box.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's
it's,
old
I-
school never
that-
dies.
yeah,
Yep.
old school never dies. That's
So,
a good. That's a good
Janie
way to
commented
put
in a, hey guys, change the name of the company to Janie's Custom Tackle.
That's
There
it.
we go.
There we go.
All right. Can she post her website up there real quick?
I think it's just Janie's
Boom.
Custom Tackle.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's all she needs.
There you
and
go.
yeah, and that's that her slimline stuff is
Yeah.
it's some of the best
Yeah,
around.
I got a
mean,
whole box just of her
yeah,
stuff.
I mean,
now,
it's
man.
just it doesn't you can't even compare.
We
it.
trashed them last year. My kids were just going nuts with this stuff. And fishing all year long, fishing thick weeds and just burning this stuff over the top.
Yeah. And how much fun is it?
Yeah,
Fishing that light stuff? I mean,
all
it's
day.
just,
You don't have to worry about
No.
throwing your back out or hurting.
Yeah.
Is that the
I mean-
jam it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
ram it, jam it,
ram
damn
it,
it.
jam it,
Yeah.
ram it, damn it. Absolutely. Yep.
Other than that, guys, I mean, we had fun. We had fun today.
Absolutely, man.
Touched a lot of topics. Some unique,
Good start
some
to
familiars.
good start to the season.
Definitely. Week and a half. This Saturday, Smokies on Pewaukee Lake.
9 to 4.
9 to 4. 50% off all in-house
15
product.
off.
15.
15.
What did I say?
50.
Sounded like 50.
It sounded like 50.
Oh, no, 15% off.
1-5.
15% off.
It's my butt.
And then come in, ask questions. Swap meet outside. Bring your boat. John,
Yeah, we'll help you.
Jimmy will wax it for you.
Yep.
Yep.
After that, then we got 1 week.
Yeah.
And then it
It's
starts.
coming.
It
Yep.
starts.
Can't wait.
That's it. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Any questions? Contact me. Contact them. Their information's up right now. Find them on Facebook.
Everything's slime in prime time, brother.
Everything.
Everything's slime in prime time. Until next week, I don't know. I was about to use waters and woods.
No, no, you can't do that.
Did you see that head?
It was about to come out.
I tried to get your eyes. I tried to catch it. I'm like, no, don't go there. Oh,
Wait,
wow.
are you going to start your own...
How's about
your own
Saturday?
Big,
I don't
big
know.
fish picture and give away
No,
gift cards?
No,
How's about Saturday we just meet?
I'm not sure who we'll have on, but
Can't imagine who you'll have on Saturday.
I'm
Holy
stuck.
cow!
See you next week, guys.